That means no more Shania for the next.
Yeah. I got to keep the music
however
off.
long.
We don't have Bill. Bill does. I guess we can say, Bill, after all these years, is no longer with the show, and we have new people, and they're not. Bill was like a sous chef. He was more like a sushi chef, is what I should say.
Yes,
he really chop it up, and
he was precise.
He can scrape it out. He had the really sharp knives. He could scrape out whenever. Because folks, as it turns out, if you take music off of YouTube and replay it on YouTube, they will tell you stole the music, even though someone else put it on YouTube, not the people that. So it makes no sense. We've never understood why they do that, but they do it. There's a lot in this world that doesn't make sense, and I'm always trying to make sense of it. That's why this podcast exists. I want to start with something, Anna.
Yeah.
I just did a hit on the Adam Carolla show. Adam wanted to talk to me. He was all keyed up.
Why?
And boy, I lost my mind. If folks, if you go back to last Wednesday, this is coming out on a Monday. Go back to last Wednesday. On the Adam Carolla show. Alonzo Bowden is also in studio.
I love him.
I told him, I said, dude, I can't believe, all the years I've done probably 100 episodes at Carolla now. I've never met him.
He's so
There's
great.
A couple of comedians.
I've never met him. I'm just saying, I just love him.
Oh my God. I told him, I said, Alonzo, I bow, big fan.
Yeah.
And by the way, he and I are the same age. Why is it I told him, I said, you look like you're in your 40s. And I told him it's
entirely unfair.
Crack, and he goes, "Well, it doesn't crack on the outside, but inside, I'm crumbling." So
yeah, listen.
Yeah, so
and we're all cracking a bit on the inside.
You might want to go,
no matter what it looks like in outward appearance.
Anna, go find that article where they're now saying that red meat is actually good for you. It was a study out of Washington, and I just want you to read the first two.
They're saying it's actually good for you.
Yeah, now they're saying, "Oh wait, meat." The studies, and by the way, it's what. And this is why I started yelling on a Carolla show. It's exactly what I was saying in my first movie. Nina Teicholz wrote about this 10 years ago in Big Fat Surprise. Nina was in my movie. I had other people talking about correlation and causation in Fat, a documentary. This is all we were talking about, folks. We were early money on this. Anna will tell you, I've been talking about this for 11 years on this podcast.
Yeah.
And I did a movie, Fat, a documentary that talks about this left, right, and center. It just is, right? So, do you have the article there, Anna?
Well, there's many variations of it, but basically the key takeaways are studies that have been linking red meat consumption to health problems like heart disease, stroke, and cancer. But there are methodological limitations. Study limits. Basically, the studies were messed up. So health scientists at the University of Washington scrutinized decades of research on red meat consumption and its links to various health outcomes. And they only found weak evidence that unprocessed meat consumption is linked to colorectal, breast cancer, type 2 diabetes, ischemic heart disease, and no link at all between red meat and stroke, which means they're completely turning course. And also, I'm sure when you get into the details of how these studies were performed, that you will find that it ain't the red meat. They're not saying, well, are these people smokers? Are these people sugar eaters? Are these people?
They weren't exactly. They weren't.
There are no other like cofactors, and
they weren't asking any of those questions. Like
they move around.
They were calling meat eaters people that also ate fast food hamburgers along with French fries and shakes, right. And those people, as it turns out, are generally smokers, and on and on and on. They went to what they call the blue zones. The blue zones are generally where people of a certain religion lives, the Seventh-day Adventists and this kind of thing. And they'll go, well, they eat mostly vegetables and clean, but it's because they're eating a cleaner diet. They weren't eating junk food and fast food and everything else.
Why is it always blue zones and then the whole rest of the world? Is there no other nuance in the whole rest of the world? Didn't we just cross 8 billion people? So don't you think there might be a little bit of nuance, a little bit, when they're doing these studies?
But they don't care about that. They want these studies to come out the way they want them to come out. And they if you talk to Nina Teicholz, she'll say, look, the studies didn't even come out that way. It didn't work out the way we thought it was going to work out. It literally worked out exactly opposite of that.
Right.
And, they said it was a 2% difference. And, with studies, you could take a positive or a negative of 2%. And, so if it was between 0 and 2, it could have been a negative 2 in the direction of vegetables or vegan diet being better than meat. It made no sense that we went down this road, and look where we are now.
Right.
Number one. Number two, most of the studies, if not all of the studies on this, were epidemiological studies. Now, folks,
explain what that means, Vinnie.
That's a big word. Epidemiology will look at several, in other words, this is not a double-blind study done in a lab. It's not under controlled conditions. A lot of times, not a lot of times, all of the time when they're doing epidemiological studies on what an indigenous people eat, they do it by giving people questionnaires. Now,
right,
Anna,
you're not taking every person in the 10,000 person studies blood work and getting a baseline, and then taking their blood work again.
None of that. No.
And running putting it on a spreadsheet. They're not doing that.
They're not doing anything near that. What they are doing is they're saying, what did you eat over the past, and I'm not making this up, year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. Now,
stop it.
Folks, now I'm going to do this. Anna, I want you to answer me as soon as I stop the question. Okay. I want you to answer this.
Okay.
What did you have for breakfast yesterday?
Oh, I made one of those
quick
cloud eggs. I had a cloud egg with prosciutto. Okay. But it took me a second to remember that.
What did you have for breakfast 4 days ago?
No, I have no idea. Probably, I don't know.
Okay. Can you remember what you had last year on this date?
No.
Obviously not. No. But that's an epidemiological study. Does that sound right?
Cool. Sounds real precise.
And the other thing they do on some of these studies is they'll say, what are you likely to eat? And they put a bunch of things on that menu. What are you likely to eat for breakfast? This, that, or the other thing. Cereal, this, that. And people always want to pretend they're doing better. Even though they're not being judged in these studies.
Right.
People always put what they want to do. Right. An example of everyone says, I'm going to get a gym membership and I'm going to work out. The reasons gyms exist today is because somewhere between 85 and 90% of the people who sign up for a gym
don't go.
Never show up after they sign up.
Right.
And go look in January. January 1st, you cannot get in a gym.
Yeah, you can't get on the cardio
By
machine.
January 15th, no problem, is back to normal.
Oh,
period.
I'm going to venture to say, because this year January 2nd is the Monday.
Right.
And that's the day that's our busiest podcast of the year.
Yeah.
And then by the Monday after that, it starts to trail off. So I really hope that people hang out longer than they hang out.
So
at the gym.
That's the fact of the matter.
I hope they hang out with us. But see, here's what I don't understand, Vinnie. Nothing matters until you see blood work on a human.
Right.
Like, I know somebody can appear really healthy, right? We think we always equate being slimmer with being healthy, right? But then there's Lauren's Uncle Dennis, who recently passed away, but for years he struggled with type 2 diabetes. He has that Ehrenberger build that Lauren has. You know what I mean? They all have that like tall, lean, athletic build. They're all athletes, but they have the type 2 diabetes. So you don't know until you run the blood work what's going on with people. So I don't understand how they can even say that's a study when they haven't looked at the one thing that will tell the story of where people are.
Yeah.
So for being scientists, why do I feel more sciencey than a scientist right now?
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense. Hey, by the way, nice hat.
Oh, thanks. This is the I call it the gunmetal gray. Can you see
they still for sale on your site, or are they have
yeah.
sold out?
We'll, you know what? I have it on. We might as well talk about it with the Instagram. Now, Anna, we told people 6:30. Should we go into the Instagram right now?
Yep.
All right. So what do I press?
You're ready So you hit the little live button down in the middle with a little pink.
Explain to people on the podcast.
What we're doing, and we do this from time to time. We did one a couple weeks ago. We try to do it like once a month or so. We're doing a live Q&A for people. If you guys have fitness questions, NSNG questions, I'm going to try to run them. So I'm filming over here. If you're watching this on YouTube, I've got my phone right off camera, and you can see Vinnie's phone right there. We're going to try to do a dual duty Instagram live /podcast. It's also right now, as we're filming this is the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. So we might talk about some Thanksgiving questions that people have. And that's okay, because guess what? Those answers also apply to your Christmas dinner, your Hanukkah dinner, your whatever the things are. So
Anna, wait, listen, they can't hear you right now. I'm live.
Oh, you're supposed to invite me on while I was talking.
How do I do that? How do I?
I don't know. Is there a thing at the bottom where you invite me on? Look at you. No, look at your. Are you looking at your phone?
Yeah, there's a little camera. There's a little person.
Hit the camera.
Hit the camera
with the plus sign.
Okay, you have no request.
Okay, hit the little person. Hit the person.
All right, hang on.
And then start typing my name.
All right, hang on. Person. All right, Anna. That didn't do it. And
here, I'm just going to request to be in yours.
There we go. Invite. There we go. I just invited you, Anna.
Go live with Vinnie Tortrich. There we are.
All right. So.
Oh, we're already talking about hats. All right. So we're live on the podcast. We're actually recording the podcast, and we're also live on Instagram. Hello, sexy people.
Now I think there's a little feedback because I can hear you. Should I turn that part down? Let me see if I can turn this down without.
Here, I can turn mine.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn this down so I can't.
So can you guys hear us? No problem on Instagram. Give us a thumbs
Instagram
up. Oh, hey,
folks.
Nick Masori.
Can someone tell me if you can hear me on Instagram?
Yep. Hey, SK. Hey, Brian.
Hey. All right. So what we're trying to do here.
You guys put your questions in the question box on Instagram.
Anna and I figured out that we are not fucking busy enough. So we're doing a podcast.
Yeah.
That we're also, doing a YouTube. So YouTube podcast, and it's also, on all the other stuff. And we now have Instagram Live going.
Right.
Boom. Let's go with that. And is anyone asking questions? Can you see questions?
You guys, if you have questions, put them in the little question box down on the right. Anyone watching can see and like your question. Now, why won't it let me? Do you have to make me an admin or something?
I don't know how to do that.
All right. Well, if it's not going to show me everybody's questions, you can put them in the chat, and I'll just try to
pick them up.
Megs wants to know, what's your opinion on Ezekiel bread and Ezekiel cereal? I believe that they market that stuff with saying that it is sprouted and somehow better for you. So I would love to hear your opinion. And I'm going to look at what Tori's texting me because I have to take pictures of food.
Okay. Here's the deal. There's nothing magical about Ezekiel bread or any of the Ezekiel products. It's, bread is bread is bread. It's kind of like what I was saying on my Instagram just the other day. When I was, they were asking, people keep asking me about resistant starches. Hey, if I let a potato cool in the fridge or rice cool off in the fridge, it becomes the resistant starch, and somehow it magically passes my liver and it gets into my large intestine, and then it's out, and it did. Okay. A little bit of that happens, but that's the equivalent of saying, you know what? I'm not going to take straight cocaine anymore. I'm going to get it stepped on with baby powder, and therefore I'm not an addict. I'm not hooked on coke anymore. Okay. You're still hooked on coke. You're going to still have a problem. You're going to still have a problem with, the addictive part of all of that. You're going to still have a problem with the trust me, it's not all passing your liver magically. It's not. Sorry, folks. You wanted to hear it here? I'm telling you, I don't have the capacity to lie. So there's the truth. It's not magically doing anything to help you. Sorry. It's just a fact. So there you have it. Any other questions, Anna?
There's questions. Thank you so much, Meegs, for asking that. Lizzie says, not a question, but I can't buy a badge. I guess we don't have that enabled. Lizzie, we love you. Save your money and buy a really expensive badge next time. I'm just kidding. Oh,
I've
thoughts?
never really understood the badge. What is
Well,
that?
Lizzie and a few others always buy a bunch buy badges. So when we go live, you can buy a badge for like $1, $2, $3, and it's pretty awesome.
Right.
It's just a way to support people who are going on live giving information. So now the question box is now active. So you guys can ask something in there. I really love this question because we don't talk about it too much. Thoughts on lunch meat. And the reason why I want to ask that question, Vinnie, that's from Vlog Epicness, is because I think there's there's a fine line between like so much processed lunch meat and then like the really nice cured prosciutto and salami and the nice pork products. You know what I'm saying, Vin?
Yeah. No. Look,
but cold cuts, sometimes you got to have cold cuts. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's one of those lesser of evil things, right?
Yeah.
So if you're stuck and you're caught out and there's nothing, having these luncheon meats every now and again, it's not going to kill you. But there's a lot of preservatives and that kind of stuff, so you have to be careful. If it's something you do, like every now and then, I'll stop by, a butcher or a deli counter, and I'll get myself some roast beef sliced really thin, or corned beef sliced really thin.
Pastrami or whatever.
Pastrami I'll do, which are all basically the same thing, just kind of different flavors. And I'll do that. And that stuff is usually, you're watching them, slice it right off the hoof, is going to have a lot less crap in it. And, I'll do some of that, especially on a road trip. I'll take a pound of that stuff if I'm going across country and mix it in with, when I have cheese, because when I'm on the road, I'm not going to eat seed oils and crap from, any of these crappy, even Starbucks that makes these egg bites is all full of crap. So that's usually when I'll take that in my ice chest, and I'll keep it to where it doesn't end up in the kind of soupy, icy water. I'll have a little tray to put it in, so it'll swim on top. It'll just stay fresh. And that's usually when I do those sort of things. If I go deer hunting or fishing or something where I'm away from, or I'm going to be camping for a couple of days or hiking or whatever I might be doing, that's usually when I have those products. Not on any regular daily type of basis do I do it.
Right.
And I don't think there's any need to do it on any regular basis, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I would say check the ingredients, because even like, for example, Boar's Head, which is arguably one of the higher quality brands out there, they still have a ton of hidden sugars and weird preservatives in some of their things. So you can read the ingredients, because they also will prepackage. I believe their oven gold turkey. They have a regular ham that's not a sugary ham or maple ham, and then they have a roast beef that's good. But yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. We're always going to be looking at ingredients. Food companies, they change suppliers, they change ingredients all the time. So even something that you've been relying. I remember when I wrote the first cookbook, I used Lee & Perrin's Worcestershire sauce in a few different things. And up until the time when that book was published, they did not put sugar in Lee & Perrin's. And then they do.
Yeah.
So it's like, you just have to kind of keep checking ingredients. But, and again, too, that, let me just go ahead and talk about too, the other question that we get asked a lot about cold cuts are things like salami, pancetta, bacon, prosciutto, capicola, bresaola. When you see those things and you see on the back sugar listed in the ingredients. So when you cure meats, you cure it with a brine of a dry brine of mostly salt and some sugar.
Yeah.
And that's how the meats cure. Now, that should be brushed off. Then they slice the meats, they put them through the slicer, and then they package it and they send it to the grocery stores.
Yeah.
So if it's a maple bacon, you do not want that, because they've added sugar to that. But that's not part of and it's very rare that they cure meats without any sort of sugar at all. You can find it, and you can find it more now, but it is rarer to find. And if you live in a grocery store, if you live in middle America at a grocery store, you're going to have a hard time finding that. So, or dextrose is another thing that they will call it, is dextrose.
And can I add this, Anna?
Yeah.
If you are planning, I feel like Jeff Foxworthy again. If you are planning on having a honey baked ham,
Don't do it. You
over the
guys.
holidays.
Just get a regular ham. Get a
You
Virginia ham.
might as well get
Get a
a
Smithfield.
bunch of Snickers bars and just put them on a plate and eat them.
Don't do honey
That
baked.
is not real ham. That is not food.
You're ruining your ham. And just here's the thing. If you're like, I love honey baked, I'm going to do it anyway. I don't care what Vinnie and Anna say. That's fine. But just know deep down inside, we're disappointed.
Yeah. And I'm like, I just died.
I'm just kidding. We don't care what you
My
do.
heart is black for you. And I just died inside just a little bit.
At your honey baked ham.
Yeah. And look, the bottom line is this. I'm just going to be honest. If you're having that kind, you're having Thanksgiving, you're having the honey baked ham, but this is coming out after Thanksgiving. You got Christmas, people get the honey.
Yeah, we have a ham. People might have a Christmas ham.
Yeah, they do.
Get a Smithfield, get a Virginia ham. What's wrong with you guys?
There's good hams, but if you get the honey baked ham and you're having stuffing and all this other kind of stuff, you're basically doing dessert before dessert.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just being honest.
And by the way, I'm from Virginia. I love a Smithfield ham, but I was also taught from the Alabama side that you take a bottle of soda and you pour it over a ham and you roast it. Like that was how I was taught to make a ham.
Why is this thing add a moderator to your live video? Is that someone sending me, or
I don't know if they're doing that. Let's get, hey, Marcy, put that question in the chat because that's a really good question. Hello everybody who's joined us. We're just answering questions, and we're also recording the Monday Show podcast right here. I've got the Dumb and Dumber fellas joining us. It is the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. This show is going to come out on the Monday Show after Thanksgiving. Let's see here. If you hit the little question mark box in the bottom right. Oh, Tyson the Ginger Cat. Let's change gears a little bit. Tyson the Ginger Cat says, what supplements work best to increase testosterone?
That would be steroids. Period.
Oh, Vinnie, are you telling people to take steroids?
No, but you asked me a question. That's the answer.
That's right. That's right.
Supplementation. Look, I could sit here and do the bro science thing, which I won't do. You know, if you watch on YouTube, hey, bro. I know about some precursors, bro. If you take these precursors, it'll work on your.
Do you do a bolus of a precursor at your pre-feed?
I do 3 boluses of a precursor. And look, it does 2 things. Number one, it's got an anabolic effect. You know what anabolic is? It's like taking steroids, bro. And it also raises my nitrates. So it's like an blast, broski.
By the way, I've heard the dudes at the gym say that stuff, and I'm always like, I don't know those words you're saying.
Yeah. Brosif, Bronameth.
By the way, Gabrielle just said she was taught that about the ham too. Thank you. I feel validated. It's what we did. It's what we did in the South in the 90s. Yeah.
So no, there is.
So what do we do about testosterone? Because boys want to raise their.
Here's the thing. One of the main things that will raise testosterone is, number one, and these are all boring things. Cut out alcohol. That's number one.
Keep talking about testosterone. I'm taking a picture of green beans.
Now, by the way, this doesn't make you automatically crazily raise your testosterone, but if you want to get your testosterone to its normal levels, you have things like you have to raise taking vitamin D, D3, or getting it from the sun. That will increase testosterone. Getting a good night's sleep will increase testosterone. Not drinking alcohol or smoking or using any tobacco product will increase, and that's dipping and chewing. And some people go, what if I have one cigar a month or a week? Yeah, no, that's not doing a whole lot. But if you are a regular user of tobacco, that can lower testosterone. Taking bottled water. Just had Dr. Anthony J. That podcast is coming up on a Friday. He's the guy from originally from the Mayo Clinic. He just does ajconsulting.com on his own. Dr. Anthony J., big fan of the show, wrote the book Estrogeneration, talks about the increase of estrogen in our bodies, male and female, and this comes from BPAs. You're right. It comes from everybody wants to have a plastic bottle of water in their hand. People, I was just talking about Starbucks a little while ago. People go buy the fake kind of egg bites over there and they get a coffee. Well, the stuff lined in that paper coffee cup, I'm sorry, I have ink all over my hands. You see that? That stuff lined inside the coffee cups, that all of that stuff can raise your estrogen levels in your body. And when you start raising all those estrogen levels, you're lowering testosterone level. You're becoming a bitch, guys. That's what happens. So there are a lot of things you can do to reverse the estrogen effects of, your environment, the soap you use. By the way, Anna, I took my soap to a new level.
Oh, you're not doing Grandpa's pine tar soap?
I'm still doing some Grandpa. Yeah, I changed from Grandpa's because they changed the formula a little bit. I went to Packers Pine Tar, which is more
Okay.
pine tar-y. But there's a product called Grandma's Pine Tar, which is just, it doesn't even suds up. It's just lye. It's lye and animal fat, LYE. And there are no chemicals, no BPAs, no detergents at all. I can't tell you, if you think your skin feels good on pine tar, this goes to the next level of, and I'm putting it in my hair. I don't have much hair left, but I put it in my hair and everywhere else, and it works just fine. I don't use I don't squeeze shampoo out of a bottle. I don't use plastic. Look what I drink. I drink my espresso is in here right now. Am I done? Yeah, I'm almost done with this. You see that metal cup? I drink from metal. This did not come from, this came right from the tap. I do not use any kind of plastic whatsoever. And I seem to be the healthiest guy on the planet. So there you have it.
And that's straight science facts.
Yeah. And I don't even live in a blue zone. So there.
By the way, this looks like it's a pink drink, but it's hibiscus tea and lemon juice and nettle tea. It's Tori tea. She makes me drink a tea. There's no sugar.
All right.
And when I say lemon juice, I mean like a squeeze.
And I see it's in a glass
It's
bottle.
very tart. Yeah.
It's in a glass bottle.
Yep.
So good on you, Anna. Yeah, if you want to waste your money on bottled water, you want it to come from a glass bottle. But don't waste your money that way.
So the restaurant trick where if you're separating egg whites from egg yolks, you can use a plastic water bottle to suck the egg yolk up and then put it where you need to put it so it doesn't get any albumin around it. You know this trick?
No. How does that work?
I'll post a video about it. But what's funny is that I was making those cloud eggs. You know what I'm talking about? Where you whip the egg whites and then you have to make a little well and then you put the egg yolk back in. It's kind of a gimmick. It doesn't really I don't know. I did a recipe for it and I like it, but it's like whatever. Okay. So it's funny because I have the earthquake kit under the thing and I was like, I don't have a water bottle. Like I haven't used a water bottle in forever. So I had to get one out and then I had to open it and then I had to pour the water on the plants outside. And then I had to come back in and then do my little egg yolk water bottle trick. Cause I was like, the old me would have had a million water bottles laying around the house, but not anymore.
Anna, tell me, what's this bottle trick you're talking about?
I would show you on the phone. It's just, you basically, how you squeeze a little bit of the air out of the water bottle? Yeah. And then it sucks the egg yolk up and then you can put the egg yolk where you need it to be. It's just like a restaurant culinary, not what's it called? When I worked at the catering company, it's like, I learned how to do that years ago. Okay. Let me read some more questions.
I want to say, you talked about an earthquake kit and water. People used to always say to me in California, you don't keep gallons of water around in case there's an earthquake.
I don't. I have a pack of folks, 4 water bottles.
I'm going to tell you what we used to do, and it's a plastic product. It's called Life Straw, and
that's good.
You could just have Life Straws, and we also, because I do a lot of camping, we have all those things where you can just pump through a filter. You can literally take water out of a ditch, out of a muddy ditch, and pump it through a Life Straw or filter.
That's pretty good.
And it's portable, and we also have where you drop the pill in there, the iodine cleans it up. So you can double clean.
Well, that's good. I'll be the first one to die in the earthquake because I don't have any of that shit.
And look, people say, man, you don't smoke. You have a lot of Zippo lighters. I keep Zippo lighters strewn about. And they'll say, well, what's that all about? It's like a Zippo lighter will work even like if you needed to create fire. And you go, well, you got to keep these things because they evaporate. It's like, no, you could put a drop of gas in a Zippo. It's not recommended, folks, but you could put a couple of drops of gas in a Zippo and it'll work just the same way as it works when you put in the Zippo fuel or any, any of those fuels, right? So if you need to survive, that's how you survive. You have all of these different things, that you just keep around. And guess what? You never have to survive.
I'm gonna survive because my friend Paul, who just joined us, gave me a kick-ass switchblade. I showed that to you, Vinny. That cool switchblade that I use in the grocery stores and to unpack my sauce jars from the cases. Okay, let me just get another question going here. That was great answer on testosterone. Thank you for your patience. I'm running against time here with the clock, with the sunshine. So I had to get one more picture for why are soft cheeses less preferred to hard cheese for an NSNG snack? Says Iceberg 72.
I don't get that question.
Well, maybe because hard cheeses have a higher fat content, but really you can have some mozzarella or burrata or brie, or you just don't want to overdo it with your dairy, right?
I don't make any distinction between soft and hard cheeses.
Okay.
I never have.
Stallion's here, so watch what you say.
Okay, no, but I never make that distinction. The distinction for me is the fat content. So look at fat content, and that's where you want to be.
So higher fat. Okay, well, speaking of Kurt Leopard says,
let me answer that question a little further, because I don't feel like I'm answering it correctly. People always say, what's the best cheeses? The answer is, some people don't like some cheeses, and cheese has, some of them are very stinky and this and that, and some of them have more
I like them all.
the other thing. Yeah, because you're Italian, that's why.
Yeah.
My thing is, I tell people, search out on Google the highest fat cheeses, look at that list, and pick the ones you like. That's how you figure out which ones.
Great. Thank you for asking it, Iceberg. It's always good to get clarity on this stuff. So Kurt Leopard, ever heard of him?
No. I need a map to figure out.
First of all, his question's grammatically incorrect, which is not a surprise. North Dakota, I don't think they teach grammar there. Right?
Go on.
What's your top 2 fats to add to your protein? He asked a damn good question. I'll give you that, Kurt.
Butter.
We kid Kurt, by the way. Nobody else is allowed to tease Kurt. Kurt's like family. So if you guys tease Kurt, you're getting booted. Vinny and I are the only ones allowed to tease Kurt.
Yeah. I spoke to Kurt yesterday on the phone.
Oh, good. Also, he bought you a steak. So now you own him.
He did buy me a steak. And he wants me, and I'm doing it. This guy, Jay Thomas, has a radio show. Tomorrow I'm doing 2 radio shows. Great. I'm popular right now, Anna. And Jay Thomas is one of them. And Kurt goes, hey, this guy, Jay Thomas, he wants you to have you on. And I'm like, all right. Butter and coconut oil. Probably, let me change that around. Coconut oil followed by butter when it comes to adding it to something.
So like if you're, would you say coconut oil and olive oil? Is that what you said?
No, I said butter.
Oh, butter.
But you see, I don't really understand the question.
Yeah, I like to drizzle olive oil.
Olive oil I pour on everything. So that's a fat. So yeah.
But that's just your natural plate of food. It's just swimming in olive oil.
Yeah, pretty much. If I don't see olive oil, I think that it's the apocalypse and something has gone terribly wrong.
I put coconut oil in my coffee and whip it with the little thing. So I like the little coconut oil. Hold on. There was one other good question here that I really liked that I wanted to make sure you answered. Oh, this is so sweet. Elise says, please, 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 is there any way I can have a large order of ultra fat and eat happy sauces and spices shipped to the UK, or am I going to have to plan a trip to visit you both in the USA? You probably, well, I think your stuff is sold in the UK, or is it not anymore?
No, we stopped doing that. It just got too difficult.
I can't do it yet either, Elise, but trust me, if you come here, tell me, because we have had stuff delivered to people's hotels, and I am so on it to make sure it gets there to folks. If they come in from Canada or Mexico or Europe, we have it. We make sure that's delivered to wherever hotel they are. I'm sorry, we can't ship.
I can't say that we would do. I know we do this to Australia for a few people because the cost to Australia in shipping. In other words, I tried to buy a hat out of Australia. I'm a big fan of Akubra hats, and they ship most of their famous models, the most popular models, to David Morgan on the West Coast up in Seattle. And that's where, you have to buy hats if you want a nice hat and a Cooper. But there's some that they will only sell, in Australia. Right. And every now and then I'll go, oh man, I want that hat really badly. But the shipping would double the price.
Oh, the shipping, yeah, it's crazy.
Just for a hat, and a hat doesn't weigh that much.
No, shipping sauce in the US, you guys know, because I'm sure some of you guys out there have had to abandon your cart because the shipping's too much. And I hate that happens. And by the way, the first thing that will happen when we're able to make our sauce for less money, the first thing's going to happen is I am going to eat that shipping so that you guys don't have to pay for the shipping. Like, it's just so much and it makes me crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay. So thank you for that.
But what we normally do, just to finish what I was going to say is,
oh, sorry.
Sometimes with Australia, there'll be 3 or 4 people that will get together and they know what the shipping, they understand the shipping cost, and they will buy a year supply for each of them of the vitamins up front. I think Andy throws a little discount on that because they're buying. So if there's 10 people buying a year supply of each vitamins,
right?
So and we pack that up in a couple of big giant boxes, and they incur the shipping costs, but they want pure vitamin. It's the best vitamins on the planet. I'm not just saying it because it's my company.
Hello.
We just make the best vitamins on the planet. There's no excipients or flow agents or whatever, and they will incur that cost, and they split that cost amongst like 8 or 10 people or whatever. So we've done that over the years. It's not a business model for us. It's these are big fans, and this is just what we're doing.
Well, and I think the idea is the more we can both grow our individual companies here in the States, we'll be able to go overseas to different places in different regions and then be able to get manufacturers who will keep the same integrity of product and be able to make it locally.
Right.
Because when you make CPG stuff, it's really hard to ship it all over the place. But that's why I remember in the 90s, you would like go to Europe and you'd have like a candy that they don't have here, and it would be really exciting. And now they have all the things here. I just want to say this is a nice, lovely thing from Wild Raven Moon. No question. Just want to say I'm loving the different exercise videos, Vinnie. Please keep them coming, which I know you are. So I want to make sure you got that little bit of encouragement.
Yeah, I haven't done one yesterday or today because we had other stuff doing, but they're going to keep coming. I want to talk real briefly on it. Did you see the quick debate between Ivor Cummins and Michael Greger?
No, but I heard about it. That was posted. I haven't seen it yet.
You got to watch it.
Okay, I will.
Literally, Ivor Cummins ate his lunch, and as a matter of fact, when someone's losing a debate, Michael Greger actually went right into ad hominem at some point. Yeah. Which, it's like, oh, dude. And the other funny part was at some point in this little 3-minute piece, I saw a 2-minute piece, Ivor holds up a chart, an actual chart showing something. And Greger held up a chart, like he took a piece of paper like this and just wrote a bunch of stuff on it. And it was like written with a marker. He goes, these are all the things, it's proven right here. These are all the things that, if vegan diet, and it's like, and the woman even said, well, you just wrote a bunch of words on a piece of paper. How's that a study, or how's that, it was really kind of sad to watch. It's like, that's why when people say, well, why don't these vegan doctors come on and debate you on your program? And I said, because they can't. Because they know that they can't. They're not going to talk to someone. So far,
people are saying no. I mean, or just ghosting. And it's like, well, come on, let's have a conversation.
I tried to get them. I didn't want to do a debate. I just wanted them to be in my movie. I went to
how's my lip gloss?
There you go. Now you're looking hot. I went to the top vegan guys: Walter Willett, Michael Greger, aforementioned Michael Greger, McDougall, all of the real, and I begged them all to be in my movie. And in my movie Beyond Impossible, I even show up on the screen. These are their letters back to me.
It's on your hands.
Ink, purple ink.
Did you have a? I hope you're signing documents with purple ink.
I do.
You have purple ink in your fountain pen?
Yeah. This fountain pen always has.
Are you guys as surprised to hear that as I am?
This fountain pen has purple ink. This fountain pen over here The
Didn't
Mont
see that
Blanc
coming.
has royal blue.
That I could see.
The cross fountain pen I have sitting right over here has
Yeah.
black. All of my pens, I always, you can never, I use this to sign things. And if anyone ever wants to say, oh, this is Vinnie's signature, it's like, nope, didn't sign it. How do you know? It's not purple. Bottom line, not purple.
See, now you know how to forge Vinnie's signature. Get a purple fountain pen. Okay, ready for the
Yeah.
next one?
And really try to do my signature if you don't know how to use, because anyone that knows how to fake someone's signature, they're doing it with ballpoint pens. No one can ever, you would have to go back to old school. I've been writing in fountain pens since I was a kid. And every now and then one will, when you're reloading them, this one exploded on me earlier today. So
would you trust me to forge your signature if I thought it was best for you?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, that's what I thought you'd say.
I'm good with that.
Likewise. And that's a true test of friendship.
Yeah.
When you're like, yeah, he can forge my signature. What could possibly go wrong?
Serena won't do it. Like, I'll say, Serena,
really?
just sign that. And she goes, no. And then,
well, that's how Joe and Teresa Giudice got into trouble on the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Okay, two people asked very similar questions. I'm going to ask them. Pomona Mama, our friend, and IRF 2001. Both of them have different versions of females being underweight. So Pomona Mama said, I didn't come to NSNG for weight loss. At this point, I'm underweight as I was already slim. Any suggestions? And IRF said, my wife is doing NSNG, but is underweight. Any suggestions to maintain a certain weight? That's more a real protein. Concern. And by the way, I'm glad that underweight people will speak up, because usually people are like, shut up, you're skinny. Wait, shut up. And it's like, no, that's a real concern.
No, it's a thing. Add protein to your diet, and muscle. You want to put on lean muscle mass. That's the way you want to gain weight. You don't want to put on any excess fat. So if you're underweight, put it on with muscle. And and by the way, when I say up your protein, I'm not talking about just go start hammering protein in protein shakes or anything. Just up your protein 10, 15%, see how that feels. And then on top of that, you go and you exercise anaerobically, weights, heavy weights. You want to put on lean muscle mass. That's the way you're going to do it. That's the big time secret formula for both of you.
Great. Goog Smear. That sounds like a slur.
That was my porn name back in the
Goog Smear says, I love this question. I'm having difficulty kicking the deadly Diet Coke. What do you recommend as a replacement to help kick this drug? Well, at least you recognize that it's
grow a pair.
Ooh,
let me explain something to you.
Look, he done laid down the gauntlet.
Look, here's the bottom line. I tell people I'd rather see you smoke cigarettes than drink Diet Coke. And you go, oh, come on. No, one's a liquid carcinogen. The other one is smoke carcinogen, just gas going into your lungs. Bottom line, they're both equally as bad, in my opinion. Okay. I don't see one as being, you never see me with a cigarette in my mouth, have you, Anna?
I have not.
Have you ever seen me with a Diet Coke in my hand?
I have not.
No. You're not going to see either one of those things happen. It's just not going to happen. And I can't tell you the number of people who have said on the phone calls, I do these consults every day, 5 days a week. Hey, man, look, you could tell me anything on this phone call. Do not tell me to go off of Diet Coke. And the first thing I tell them to do, if you go off Diet Coke, no, you don't understand. I've been doing it for 30 years. I can't stop. It's my crutch. And when I get them to stop, inevitably, they'll call back a month or two later and go, oh, my God, I had no idea. Some people will say that their memory will, and I don't know if there's any science behind it. They'll say, you understand, I wasn't even thinking straight anymore from this stuff. And I don't know what's causing that, what could be in that stuff. I'm not that kind of scientist. I don't understand what it is. But once you go away from it, and then they don't even know why they ever drank it. It's the same argument I have with Froyo. Froyo is some bastardized version of dairy. And I used to tell Tallulah and her friends.
Does Froyo even have any ingredients in it?
I'm not even sure.
It's whey protein and sugar and some sort of emulsifier. and a
crap.
preservative.
And
Yeah.
here's the deal. I used to tell Tallulah and her friends, and, I was, okay, we're going to go to Froyo place. And I'm going to get 3 yogurts. And I'm going to have you guys, I said, I would tell them, start eating the one you're eating right now. Eat yours.
Yeah.
Eat yours.
Are you talking about like Pinkberry? Like
No. We would go to Menchie's. The girls
Menchie's.
love going to Menchie's. We
and
even
you put
have
the toppings on.
Yeah.
That everyone else was sneezing in pre-COVID.
One of Tallulah's friends, we called her Menchie's Emma. Emma, we always went to Menchie's when Emma came over. So that's right, folks. I would bring my daughter to go get a treat. I think kids should have them. It shouldn't just be in your house all the time. We had to go somewhere and do something to have a treat.
Right.
And so I would say to him, you can't really taste it. You guys are like going, oh, I want this flavor, I want that flavor. So, you can't tell. So I would have them eat a few bites of theirs. Once their tongue froze a bit, I would say, okay, I have 3 small yogurts here, and I have 3 spoons.
Right.
Right. A spoon for each of you. I wouldn't blindfold them. I just want you to look up in the air. I'm going to put some yogurt on the spoon. I'm going to hand it to you. Tell me what flavor it was. And it was always simple flavors like vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry. Every now and then I would do like
the green tea,
vanilla, chocolate, and green tea or pistachio or something, right? I would tell them, okay, I'm not going to tell you guys what these flavors are. You know what the flavor is that you're eating, but you don't know what these flavors are. And I would take simple flavors.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing like boysenberry or whatever. And I would have them eat it. And way more than 50% of the time, they could not name what they were eating. And It was chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla. I don't know. This is boysenberry. No, it's vanilla. This is definitely strawberry. They would always mix up chocolate and strawberry. If they would say strawberry, is always chocolate. They could not tell the difference. When you're eating this crap, it's a chemical thing. You see the name. All you can taste is the sugary part of it. You see the name of it, and because of the color, the rest of it is a suggestion, right? Once you go past a bite or two and your tongue freezes, you can't even taste that flavor anymore. And I used to prove that to them all the time. It was my favorite party trick. I did it with some of their parents. I would say, okay, because part of our sense of taste is smell. And if the smell is not there, you're not going to taste it. All right.
Let's talk about food. I know that this is coming out after Thanksgiving, but this could also relate to your Christmas or Hanukkah or holiday Festivus dinner. Let me read this. Festivus for the rest of us. Teresa, just want to say I am so thankful for all the great information you guys are putting out here, especially the Friday shows. Thank you. But also the Monday shows too, right, Teresa?
It's the Friday shows, Anna.
It's the Friday shows. I know. Trust me. Marty Bird says, let's talk turkey. Is turkey breast okay for Thanksgiving or just a traditional home-baked whole turkey okay? Can I field this one first, Vinnie?
Go on.
Since I am a foul roasting bitch.
Oh, and
I'm talking about FOWL.
Yeah.
I'll roast a damn bird. I can roast any bird, game bird, a yard bird, a damn crow.
Anna, can I
clean that crow? I will roast it for you.
After you give this answer, I have a question for you. Let me write it down.
Okay. So, turkey breast is fine, especially when you only have a couple of people. If you want to have more fat, though, because the turkey breast they usually only sell those with a little bit of the skin over it. So obviously, if you roast a whole turkey, it's larger. It's going to take longer, but then you get the dark meat. You get more of the skin that you can eat, and you get more fat rendering, so you can make a delicious gravy. I have recipes for that on my website. At the Thanksgiving Roundup, or you just search Anna Vicino turkey, it comes up. So I would suggest if it's just 2 of you and that's why you're doing a turkey breast, roast a chicken. Just do a chicken. The easiest roast chicken recipe and eat happy is basically what my turkey recipe is.
Right.
And I'm telling you, once you learn how to roast a chicken that way, you'll know it's a dry brine, which makes it nice, moist, juicy. You dry brine it, then you roast it sitting on some onions in a small pan. You don't do a giant roasting pan, because what happens is all the good juices evaporate out. So that's why you do it in a smaller pan, so those juices can collect. That's the idea behind it. And Kurt is deboning a turkey and putting stuffing in it and then rolling it and baking it. You can do it that way too. If you want to spatchcock, if you want to flatten it out, that's fine too. But I know that Vinny's going to have thoughts. He doesn't like turkey, but
not a fan. Just not a whole lot of flavor to it. My question is, Anna, do you have a recipe, or have you ever thought about doing a pheasant recipe? Because I tend to.
I have a quail recipe that pheasant would go great with. I just have never posted it. Yeah, I can send it to you. It's quite good.
Please. I would appreciate that, because I've been
I like things really light,
here and there.
Especially those game birds. And I'm going to tell you about Cornish hens can get richer and be more saucy, but for pheasant and quail, I really like grilling it or just having a really light flavor profile to it, because I like the taste of the bird so much.
Yeah.
That's me.
My neighbor did a pheasant for me the other night, one that he brought down in South Dakota. You would need a map to figure out where that is.
Yeah, we don't know.
He did 2 hunts. He was up there for 2 weeks. He did 2 big hunts, 3 days on one and 3 days on the other. So he's got a lot of birds. He came home with a lot of birds. And man, he made one for me the other night. It was like in a whiskey cream sauce. And man, was it good.
That seems intense.
Made the crap out of that.
By the way, let me address something. Every now and then I'll put a little vodka or whiskey in a recipe.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, and I never put wine in. But for the most part, the reason why I don't use alcohol in recipes is because I don't know where everybody is on their drinking spectrum.
Right.
I want kids to be able to have it, and I want parents to feel comfortable serving it. So just so you know, when you see a recipe, like for example, in the second book, there's Villa Cappelli's chicken cacciatore, which is Paul Cappelli's mother's recipe, but I've adapted it to not have the white wine. I have figured out how to have a red wine substitute and a white wine substitute using balsamic vinegar or white wine vinegar and chicken stock or chicken broth. Now, somebody asked a question. I'm leading to something. Somebody asked a question, is beef broth better or chicken broth better? And no, they're both great. And just make bone broth. You should have bone broth all winter. Take bone broth with Vinnie's ultra salts. I like to do that. But I just want to throw that out there. So, and can I say this one real quick?
Sure.
Ashley, anti-NSNG, Ashley says, so this is kind of long. I stopped using soap and deodorant about 3 years ago. I think she said that because of your soap comment. Mm-hmm. I think I do not stink anymore because I've eliminated the seed oils and sugar and grain. Am I right in that thinking?
Ashley, you need to come here. I need to give you a sniff test.
Yeah, we need to get in those pits, girl.
All 4'11" of you. She's so cute and small. There's no way she could smell, right?
She is a tiny little bit, and we love her. Yeah, no, she doesn't stink. By the way, whenever I think I stink, Lauren puts his face right in there. He's like, I literally can't smell anything.
Yeah. No, I look
and then, but when he stinks, I'm like, oh my God, I'm dying.
I always ask Serena, do I smell right now? Because, I sweat a lot during the day. I use like a natural form of deodorant, that Schmidt's. I just use such a tiny amount. And, like I said, I barely use any kind of soap anymore. And I'm always asking Serena, do I smell? Do I have kind of, she's like, no, you never smell. And I'll never forget years and years ago. I won't say her name because she's married, got kids now, the whole thing. And it was back when I was working with a lot of the Playboy Playmates. And a couple of them became friends of mine, like actual friends. I didn't become friends with all of them, but these two women. And back in the day, they used to party a fair bit, mostly drinking, some light drugs or whatever. And they would invite me out every now and again. I wasn't much of a go out guy, but if I did go out, I knew that, there would be fun in and around them.
Sure.
Right? So I would go out with these two girls and they would help me, it was like, oh, were you having sex with them? No. But they would, because you're with two playmates, it's kind of like that, they talk about that big dick energy with that guy. When you're around two playmates, other girls are like, oh, I'll be with that guy. So it wasn't hard to find them.
They were the perfect wing women, is what you're saying.
Yeah, pretty much. They were like, oh, he's with them. What's special about him type of thing. And we were at parties.
I better find out.
This was the early 90s. The Brat Pack was still a thing. And most of those guys in the Brat Pack were trying to hit every playmate they could. And I was around that whole group. And I'll never forget one night, both of these girls were pretty wasted. And I didn't drink at all back then. And I was like, all right, I got to get you guys home. It was really late. And one of them was kind of leaning on me. And, she was always kind of leaning on me whenever she got really wasted. And she goes, "You never smell." And I was like, okay. She goes, "No, you don't have that nasty man smell." And I'm like, "Well, thank you. Should I take this as a compliment?" She was like, "It's because you don't drink and do drugs, isn't it?" And I think that's part of it. I think part of it
Probably.
is, I think part of it is, just having pretty much a clean diet and not eating junk and,
Yeah.
sweat a lot, so a lot of impurities come out when you sweat, this kind of thing. Who knows what it is? But it's a natural cleanser and it works better. So I'm going to go, if I don't smell and I'm just this old kind of rickety dude, I'm going to go ahead and figure that Ashley smells pretty
No,
damn
Ashley, but she smells like fresh
lilac, a
basil.
field full of lilac.
Oh, I was going to say basil because she makes sauce. She
Yeah.
sent me a jar of her sauce that I still have to try. Oh, Kurt says, "Anna, what's your release date goal for your next book?" I don't know the exact date, but my 100 recipes and photos, 65 photos, are due to the publisher January 15th. So that's what I'm frantically working on. Today we made a low carb manicotti. We did a bistecca fiorentina. We did some roasted leeks and green beans, and we're working our way through it. Got to get to that 100 low carb Italian recipes. Okay. Kurt also asks, "What is your favorite body part when lifting? The one you always look forward to, Vinnie?" Because I know that question was for you, not for me.
I could tell you the ones I hate.
Okay.
I hardly ever do curls or triceps. I hate doing those two exercises. And it's because, I was always into powerlifting, that kind of thing. What do I look forward to? Mostly back exercises. I like leg day. I'm not going to lie. I still like doing legs, but I like doing pull day. For some reason, my pull strength, even with my bad rickety shoulders and everything, I can still pull more than I can push. So,
There you go.
back
See,
exercises.
I thought Vinny was gonna be like, "I love doing all of it because I'm that guy."
Yeah, I'm that guy now. I'm that douchebag. All right, so Anna, let's see. I'm going to close out.
No,
We're going to
don't
keep what?
don't close out yet
Oh,
because we have to talk about this.
oh,
Foxy wants to know, how can I get one of those cool hats Vinny is wearing?
she can go to VinnieTutteries.com and and it's there, right? And we have this one and the orange one. So we're going to have two hats. You can, and we're taking pre-order. Debbie and I think it's just Debbie, and maybe Lois is on that too. I'm not quite sure how they're doing it, but Lois designed this logo.
Yeah.
And she, it's the same logo we had on the navy blue hat, the dark royal blue, whatever they're calling it. These are high-end hats. They're made by New Era. It's the 3930. These are very high-end hats. This is one of the prototypes. As you can see from the back, it's real embroidery. It's not some cheapo embroidery. It's something you're proud to wear. Very high-end hat. They seem to hold up. I sweat in them a lot. You'll see sweat stains. I'll just take a rag and wipe the sweat stains off, goes away, and they look new again. This hat was sweaty the other day. Look at it. It's perfectly clean again.
Yep.
Right. I've already sweated these prototypes up. And you can go get them at VinnieTutteries.com. They will be closing, maybe by the time this show comes out, they may have already closed down
okay.
I don't know. They're going to close it soon and then order all the hats. And do not, under any circumstances, do not think that we're going to open up for the gray and the orange again. Once these are done, they're done.
That's it.
Don't go, "Oh, I wish I'd known." I've been yelling about it for weeks. So go get them right now. Don't fall apart. Any more questions?
No, but I'm going to say the same thing for the spicy arrabbiata sauce.
Arrabbiata. Yeah.
We have maybe 19 or 20 twin packs left. And that's, again, we're pre-selling them. They were supposed to make them today, and then the tomatoes were missing, and then they found the tomatoes, and they're going to make it tomorrow. You guys, how's the
It
tomatoes go
never
missing?
ends. It never ends.
It never ends. People were asking about beans, about chewing gum, about a couple of the goat cheese, and we just didn't get to it. Save your
You know what?
questions.
I'm going to get to it. Anna, let me explain this about chewing gum. Let's say you're chewing gum. Here's what happens when you start chewing. It's the beginning of chewing is your mouth is the beginning of your digestive tract. And NASA figured out the first time we put people into orbit, one of the things they lost was their appetite. And so NASA figured out the way we could get astronauts to eat in space is to have them chewing gum. Chewing gum will make you hungrier. That's a fact. Okay. It gets the ghrelin and leptin going. It tells your stomach, prepare, something's coming in, and then nothing comes in. It's kind of like masturbating with a condom on. Don't need it. Don't chew gum. Beans. Beans are like a grain. They have a bit more fiber and this and that, and there's a bit of protein. If you are a vegetarian, for whatever reason, beans can become your friend. But too many beans will cause a problem because, it's like any other carb, right? So get the highest protein beans you can find, eat them sparingly. And if you're a vegetarian, step up to eating meat again.
Can I tell you, when you did a video recently and you had beans in your chili, and it made me, I don't like beans. So I was glad when NSNG came along because I'd removed beans from any thought of mine that I had to have them to be healthy, which it made sense because for my body type, beans, no bueno. So when I saw that you guys had some beans in your chili in your story and on your Instagram, I was like, okay, good. So people can see, because I like it when people see that you eat a wide variety of foods, because people really they really, you know what I mean? Anyway, so I like that we saw that. But it wasn't like crazy. It wasn't like bean chili. It was a beef chili that had some beans in it.
Sometimes Serena does that. She'll put fresh
and
beans.
That's fine.
And it's
fine.
It doesn't do anything. It's a big beef chili with a handful of beans that two people ate over the course of like 3 or 4 days. It's not a deal.
One more, we kind of answered this, Pamela, about doing snacks. She's allergic to nuts. We talked about we talked about more about snacks on the road when you can bring a cooler. But if you're on a hike, you got to bring a ice pack maybe in your backpack and put some things in there. I actually make a whole pound of bacon and we'll put it in a Ziploc bag and bring it with me and eat that like throughout the day if I know that. And I also
boiled eggs will go. She can't have nuts. Boiled eggs
I just realized that.
Way.
Boiled eggs.
They have some really good beef sticks out there. You could go investigate that on Google. That'll get you through. Coconut oil. I don't know if that's under your nut allergy, but coconut oil is good. There are a bunch of things you can do.
You guys, we're not going to get to everybody's questions. It's just not going to happen. But this one's a really short one. Vinnie, will you answer this? Should I aim for zone 2 for cardio and resistance training or just cardio?
You're not going to go on resistance training, even if you do heavy squats. Good luck getting out of zone 2. And it doesn't matter when you're resistance training. It doesn't matter. Do it in your aerobic training and in your anaerobic training. If you're getting above zone 2, you're doing something far beyond. So.
And by the way, if you want to know what zone 2 is, go back on Vinnie's Instagram profile and look at it. The Q&A we did a few weeks ago. He went into a very long explanation of zone 2. Yep. Oh, hi, Pierce. So we did it. We did a big, long Q&A. There's a lot of content here. Hopefully you guys, if you missed anything, listen to the Monday show or go back and watch it on Instagram. Villa Cappelli, of course, the best olive oil on the planet. Please support them. Oh, look at this. Look at this. On the back of the puttanesca. Do you know what it says?
Villa Cappelli.
Made with 100% real extra virgin olive oil from Villa Cappelli. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Absolutely, folks. Villa Cappelli, promo code Vinnie will save you 10%. If you spend more than $125 after the Vinnie discount, you'll get free shipping.
Yeah, you get to do that.
And by the way, folks, I say this on 2 of the 5 shows per week. Villa Cappelli, VillaCappelli, VillaCappelli, Villacapelli.com. Go there.
It's also at Vinnie.
What's that
You want
olive
a
oil
harder
we
thing to
talk
spell? Yeah. Could you go to VinnieTortorich.com and look and see? Because there's a big thing. There's a big thing if you go to Vinnie Tortorich. Another thing that you'll never figure out how to spell, but that's okay. Anna Vicino, another thing you'll never figure out how to spell.
Yeah. Why wasn't our names like Bob Smith and Lisa Smith?
I know.
It makes no sense. All right, so Anna,
you would be Bob Smith and I would be Lisa Smith, and then we would call our podcast Unrelated.
Smiths. Anna, you reminded me of 2 songs during this podcast, so we're going to close out with those 2 songs today. Folks, Anna Vicino, go check it out. She's got a couple of cases of the Arrabbiata left. You want to go to eathappykitchen.com and check that out. Don't fall.
We're getting low on barbecue dust too.
Ooh, I was about to say, don't fall.
And we probably won't be able to make it again until February. So if you're going to get the gift packs too, a lot of people are buying like the 3-pack variety because they are really cute for gifts.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are buying between 2 to 10 at a time. Write me a note and tell me, because we'll make sure that we package that in a separate box so that the shipping sticker doesn't go on those things that you want to give as gifts, if that makes sense.
Got it. So
I don't sell on Amazon, Mauricio. I only sell at Eat Happy Kitchen right now or at grocery stores. Yeah. Always a song's coming up. All right, we're going to wrap it up on Instagram. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for hanging out. I know Instagram Live is kind of like, I wish that, because if you close the app, I think it closes, like TikTok, when you're on a live, it like hangs out and lets you still watch it while you do other things on your phone. So you guys who've been here the whole time, you're dedicated, and I appreciate that.
So Anna, how do I stop? Let's stop that first.
Yeah, we're going to stop that. So you go in the upper right and you just hit the X and we're done. Bye, you guys. Thank you, Instagram.
Bye.
Bye. We love you. Bye.
All right. And now, sure you want to end? Yes, I do. All right. Should I hit share? How does that work?
Yes, hit share because you want it to live on your thing.
Okay.
Live on your profile.
All right.
Now I can turn this.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Now a Stallone thing came up. I don't want to make this go away.
This is going to happen, you guys.
Okay. All right. So that's done. All right. So now, folks, you know what to do with Anna Vicino. With me, before you go to Amazon, go to VinnieTortorich.com. Click through the banner. It puts a little coal on the fire, gets my train down the track. We also have the, oh, Jesus Christ. You see, Anna, this is why you can't do anything.
Turn off the video too.
I thought I did.
No, turn off the Zoom video because you're about to play a song.
I'm getting ready to. Folks, also we have the Superfan page. No, I was in the middle of Amazon.com. Go to Amazon. You go to VinnieTortorich.com first, and you bookmark it, use it every time. That's all I'm going to say about that. We have the
get your hat.
The PDF. They want me to call it the ebook. Go get the ebook, the NSNG ebook. It's at VinnieTortorich.com. If you want a hat, get a hat. And now
get a hat.